Students, your topic for today is settlement operations. So section 142 talks about the settlement or resettlement. In this, the state government by the notification in the official gazette can order any district or any local area to be brought under settlement or under resettlement, and every such district or local area will be held as a settlement operations from the date such notification is being issued. Then section 143 probable results of resettlement. So when the period for which the land revenue of a district or other local area has been settled and this kind is about to expire, then the government may cause a forecast of the probate results of resettlement to be prepared before issuing a notification under subsection 1 of 142. Then section 144 consideration which shall determine whether resettlement shall be made. So this is talking about the considerations that will decide that whether a district or a local area should be brought under resettlement, and the state government will be considering these considerations, which are like whether a reasonable increase or decrease of avenue is likely to result, whether there is a prospect of such an increase, there are satisfactory reasons for postponing resettlement, and third, whether the existing assessment has become uneven or is unduly severe, or whether other sufficient reasons exist for entering without the prospect of reasonable increase of revenue upon the work of resettlement. So, provided there is a proviso that an increase of revenue which will recoup the expenditure on resettlement in 10 years shall ordinarily be deemed to be reasonable. Then section 145 settlement officers. So the state government while issuing a notification under subsection 1 of section 142, it can appoint a settlement officer who will be the in charge of the operations that are referred in section 142 subsection 2, and unless there is not a permanent settlement officer, then it may appoint assistant settlement officer as it may deem necessary. So shall appointments are necessary, and may appointments are necessary if they think they are necessary. Then section 146 is talking about the transfer of duties of land record officers to the settlement officers. So this is talking about when these duties will be transferred from land record officer to settlement officer. Section 147 is talking about the rules that the state government, by giving a notification in the official gazette, make the rules for the procedure of settlement officers in settlement operations. Section 140 is talking about an economic survey. So when any district or other local area has been brought under a settlement operation, and then the settlement officer will carry out an economic survey for the condition of the tenants in such district or area, and in doing so shall have regard particularly to the following, and these are the things that they have to keep in mind, like the extent to which the district or the area is protected by irrigation, and increase if any in irrigation facilities, standard of cultivation, increase or decrease in cultivated area, expenses of cultivation and the cost to the cultivator of maintaining himself and his family, existence of markets in or in vicinity of the district or area on under settlement, means of communication and improvement since the last settlement if any, size of holding, extent of indebtedness among tenants and credit facilities. Then section 149 is talking about the formation of assessment circles or groups. Section 150 is talking about classifying these lands according to the soil classes. Section 151 is talking about evaluation of the rent rates of these areas according to the class of soil. Then section 152 is talking about the basic of rent rates. So the settlement officer shall regard to the collection for rent and average of prices of agricultural produce, the nature of the crops grown and the average quantity of produce, the value of such procedure, the expenses of cultivation, the area of land that is kept, then the frequency of remissions, the rent rate of settlement, the rent rates, if any, sanctioned by similar classes of soil in adjoining areas. So the rent rates are to be evolved by the settlement officer and shall represent such share that should not exceed 1/6 of the value of produce. That's all. Then section 153 is talking about modification of rates. So the settlement officer shall also record for each village whether the rent rates evolved by him are applicable without modification or extent to which they require modification either for the village or as a whole or for a specified class, soil class therein. Then section 154 talks about the matters to be determined and recorded. So the settlement officer shall sub to any rules made in the behalf of the state government under this act, determine and record whether rent shall be payable in one installment or more. In case rent is payable in more than one installment, then the number of such installments and the proportion thereof payable in such installment, the date of for payment of rent or each installment of rent as the case may be, and any other matter which he may be directed by such rules to determine and record. And submission of proposals. So this is discussed in section 155, where publication of proposals and the submission of the proposals are discussed, and the settlement officer has to give a public notice that is prescribed in the manner inviting objections to this kind of proposals that are given, and if the within the time prescribed in subsection 2, if there is any kind of objections raised for such kind of proposals, then the settlement officer will consider it and it will amend his proposal in the manner as he thinks fit, and the settlement officer will then submit the proposal along with the objections that he has received and the orders passed by him to the settlement commissioner. Then section 156 is talking about the sanction of proposals. So the settlement commissioner shall scrutinize the proposals that are received under section 155 and make such inquiry into any of the matters contained therein as he may think necessary. Then it is talking about more like he shall then submit the proposal to the board. Then on receipt of the proposal that is submitted under subsection 2, the board may direct the further inquiry into any of the matters contained therein, and after such further inquiry as referred in subsection 3 has been made or held, the board will submit the proposal for the sanction of the state government either without any modification or with such modifications as proposed assessment circles or assessment groups, soil classes, and rent rates as it may, for reasons to be recorded in writing, thinks necessary. Then the state government may sanction the proposal as recommended by the board, or it may direct further inquiry to be made, or it may return the proposal for reconsideration of the board, or it may sanction the proposal which such modifications as it may deem fit, and the rent rate so sanctioned shall be sanctioned rent rates. Section 157 is talking about assessment of rents. So according to this section, there should be proper assessments of the rents. Then section 158 talks about the land to be excluded from assessment. So section 158, land to be excluded from assessment. So the settlement officer shall exclude from assessment all the land of following descriptions, namely the land occupied by the building with their occurrences, permanent threshing floors, graveyards, permanent roads and pathways, and uncultivable land. So these should be excluded from the assessments that are given under section 157. Then section 159, allowance for improvement. So this is talking about where there is an improvement has been lawfully made in relation to holding by or at the cost of the tenant, then the settlement officer shall assess the rent therefore under section 157 in the manner so as to ensure to such tenant the enjoyment of the full benefits arising from such improvement for the period of 20 years in aggregate commencing from the date on which the improvement was completed, and the tenant shall not be liable during such period of any enhancement of rent for increased procedure or otherwise arising from such improvement. Then section 160, existing rent to be taken into consideration while assessing rents. So this is very simple. The existing rent should be taken into consideration before assessing the new rents. Then section 167 is talking about the limits of enhancement. So how much enhancement can be done? So there is a limit that is specified in the section. Then section 162 is talking about the progressive enhancement. So where the rent for a holding assessed is under 157 read with 161 exceeds one fourth of its existing rent and three quarters of its valuation at the appropriate sanction rent rate, then such excess shall be ordered to take effect by annual increments extending over a number of years and not exceeding three, and the full rent so excess shall become payable on expiry of such number of years. Then section 163, additional provision for assessment of Shahi holdings. So this is talking about the additional provisions. Then section 164 is talking about the that parchas should be prepared and distributed. So this is talking about what all should be there in the parchas, and how these ones should be distributed, in what manner it should be distributed. Now section 165 is talking about the interim stoppage of recovery of kind rents. So if any time after the commencement of the agricultural year during which assessment purchas are likely to be distributed, uh, if the settlement officer is satisfied that an account of strange relation and between landholders and tenants in such district or area or for any other sufficient reason it is expedient to stop the recovery of rents in kind therein, then he may make a recommendation in that behalf to the state government. Then the settlement commissioner they should submit the recommendation of the settlement officer to the state government with such remarks as he may deem fit. Then the state government may accept the recommendation or pass such order therein as it may deem fit. Then the order of the state government for stopping the recovery of rents in kind in any district or local area shall be published in the prescribed manner and shall direct the following. Then in an order that is stopping the recovery of rents in any kind under this section shall be passed only if such rents for the kharif harvest of the year in which it is passed have not been realized. Section 142 to 177 is talking about the rent ratio, determination of rent, term of settlement, settlement operations. So section 166 is talking about hearing of objections and determination of land. Section 167 is talking about the rent for what date should be payable. Then section 168 is talking about the option to the tenant to refuse the rent that is determined. Then section 169 is talking about the effect of refusal. Then section 170 is talking about the offer of holding to the other persons. Then this means that if there is a vacation of the or if there is an ejectment from the holding due to under section 169, then the same can be offered to another person. Then section 171 is talking about the procedure upon non-refusal. So if there is no refusal, then what procedure will be followed? That is what section 177 is talking about. Then section 172 is talking about the rents not liable to variation during currency of settlement. And section 177 is talking about the preparation of Dastur Ghanwai. So the settlement officer is supposed to prepare this visible hers or the Dastur Gunwai for each of the village in the district and other local areas, and what rules it should maintain while recording such Dastur Gunwai. Then section 174 is talking about the presumption of settlement entries. So all entries in the Dastur Gunwai prepared in the section 173 should be presumed to be true until there is anything contrary proved. Then section 175 is talking about the term of settlement. So the term of every settlement should be made under this act, and it shall be 20 years, provided if the state government can extend it beyond 20 years, or it can, having regard to the pressure of the population on the land and for special reasons to be recorded, such serious deterioration, considerable concealment of assets, or the deliberate and extensive throwing of land out of cultivation, or for any other sufficient reason, it can also shorter the term, provided further that in case of the first settlement as well as the settlement for precarious tracts, or for the state government may sanction shorter terms, and it can make rules for the immediate revision of the settlement. Now section 175A is talking about commencement of the term of resettlement. So the term of every settlement made under this act shall be commenced from such date as the state government may by notification in the official gazette. Then section 176, senior terminology of settlement. It is talking about the senior terminology to be followed while settlement. Then section 176A is talking about the interim relief during the settlement operations. So interim relief can be given during the settlement officer. This is what it is talking about. So the state government can order such interim relief to be given to the tenants, and for whatever conditions it deems fit. 177 talks about the tenure of land under expired settlement until resettlement. Then section 177A talks about the increase in assessment of irrigated land assessed at unirrigated rates. That's all. Thank you.